I'm glad you made it today. So we're getting ready to write our papers on the French Revolution. You guys just read Tale of Two Cities, yeah? Did you guys like the book?
Yes.
Yeah? Awesome. Okay, so, and we've been starting to do some research, you guys know, on the French Revolution in your history class, and so we're going to combine that all and write an essay. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about putting quotes in your essay and how to do that. So first of all, I have this handout with some examples of sentences with quotes in them. So I want you to work with your partner, the person next to you, and just look at these, circle things you notice about how to put quotes in sentences. And I'll give you just a couple minutes to do that, and then we'll talk about it as a class, okay? So if Jared can work with Nathan and Matthew with Jacob, you can use those to write on. Awesome. Yeah, just look at the, there's more things on the back side that we'll get to later, but right now just look on this side. Yeah, perfect. So just circle things you notice about punctuation or about what it does to the sentence to add a quote in, citations. Try to look at all four of them and see what you can notice, what patterns are the same in all of them and what's different. You guys can talk with each other about it too. Yeah.
So there's that, but there isn't that. And then there is that.
Mm-hmm.
This is similar to this one, for sure.
Let's look at that one.
Mm-hmm.
This has the author's name. Not always.
So it has the author's
It
name.
doesn't always have a
No,
comma.
then just
It never has a comma, but I thought they were supposed to be a comma. I think it's
Sometimes-
just the way that they used the quotes.
Yeah, that's a good noticing. Yeah. Remember to like questions you have, and we'll talk about those too. Okay, when you think you're done, just look up. Okay, looks like you're all done. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna write things down on the whiteboard. So just tell me, let's see, things that it has to have when you integrate a quote. What did you guys notice? Nathan?
Page number.
A page number, yeah. So what is the page number? The number that the quote was on in your paper, in the book, in the book you're reading. What if you read like a website? What would you do?
The article.
Yeah, awesome. You guys are smart. So yeah, if you're quoting like Tale of Two Cities in your essay, you'll do the page number of Tale of Two Cities that you found it on. If you're quoting like an article in a journal that you read online, you'd put that page number. Does that make sense? But you always need a page number. So why do you need a page number? What do you think, Matthew?
So the person reading it can find it if they want.
Exactly. I've had that a lot of times where I'm reading essays and I'll see a quote and I want to know where it comes from, but I can't find it because I don't have all the information. So it's important to give them all the information. Okay, what else does it have to have? What do they all have?
They all have parentheses around the number,
Yeah.
the page number, and then a period after.
Okay, that's awesome. So they all have parentheses with a period after, right?
But some of them have like a name before the page number, but not
Okay.
all of them. So
Okay, so what is that name when there's a name?
one says Burke and one
Jared,
says
did you have it?
Smith.
Wordsworth.
Wordsworth, yeah.
Yeah, so both Burke and Wordsworth are famous poets. So yeah, like Jared was whispering quietly, that's the author's name and the page number. So what do you see, what difference do you guys tell when the author's name is in the parentheses and when it's not? Did you notice that, Nathan?
When it is, it only uses the last name, and it's not uses the whole name.
Okay, that's good.
No, it doesn't.
Anyone else? What do you think, Matthew?
It only has the author's last name with the citation if it's not mentioned earlier.
Right, yeah, so if the sentence, let's read out one example out loud where it has the author's, where it doesn't have the author's name in the parentheses.
So this one just says human beings have been described by Kenneth Burke as quotation symbol using animals, end quote, and then page number 3.
Right, so you don't need the author's name in that citation because his name is already in the sentence, right? It already says Kenneth Burke, so you wouldn't say Burke again. Does that make sense? But where's the sentence that has the name in the parentheses? Nathan, can you read one of those?
Human beings have been described as symbol using animals. Burke.
Right. Exactly. So if you want it to just flow a little more in your paper and not stop to interrupt and say this person said this, then you can just put their name in parentheses and that makes it a little easier. Yeah? Okay, so we're gonna have the can list and put author's name in parentheses. Oh, I can't spell. Author's name can either be in the sentence or in parentheses, right? Okay, what else do you guys notice? Jared.
I have a question.
Okay.
What if you say the author's name earlier in your essay? Do you need to repeat it for the sentence?
So it depends on how many different works you're quoting from. So if the only thing you're quoting from in your essay is Tale of Two Cities and you've already said Charles Dickens, then whatever quotes you have, it's just assumed that they're all Charles Dickens. But if you're also putting other quotes in from websites or other authors, then it can get confusing. So if you do if you have 3 in a row that are all Dickens, then you can do the first one Dickens and then not the rest. And then if you have someone else, then you do their name. And then if you have another Dickens, you have to say Dickens again. Does that make sense?
So it's like the last author said.
Yep. Yeah, Jacob?
So usually you put a comma before you do a quote.
Mm-hmm.
So, but these it doesn't have it because they're all a continuation of the sentence, but their exact words.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of confusing, right? None of those had commas before,
Yeah,
right?
none of them.
So can I have an example of when you would put a comma before? Does anyone know?
Bob said hi.
Right, exactly. So if you're saying, Jared said that Bob said hi, right? You put a comma, and if you're quoting what someone says, that's when you use the comma. When it's introducing a new element. But when it just flows like the sentence, like Jacob was saying, you don't need one. Okay, any other big noticings? Okay, I think that's awesome right now. Then we want to talk a little bit about why. Why does it matter for us to put quotes in papers? Jacob?
Well, like you were talking about before, just to make your reasons more sure, show evidence.
Yeah, it's to show evidence. That's
then
huge.
You need to put the author so they can check it if they want to and look up more about the topic.
Yeah, exactly. So it's proof that what you're saying is right. Have you guys heard the word ethos before? You guys talked about ethos? Yeah? Matthew, what does ethos mean?
It's like credibility.
Yeah, credibility. So if you have ethos, then people can trust you. They think, yeah, Jacob knows what he's talking about, right? So you build ethos when you put quotes in because you show the evidence. You say, I'm not the only one that thinks this. Other people think it too. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay, why else do we put quotes in? I think that's the main reason, right? To show evidence. Any other things?
Because they're cool.
Because they're cool, yeah, it's true. There are so many. Did you guys notice some cool quotes in Tale of Two Cities when we're reading? You read some words and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah?
Just to have correct grammar and then show what they said exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, to show exactly what it says. So if you're saying, let's say you're writing your essay about Sidney Carton in the book, then you could put a quote that explains something about him, right? That tells a description of what he looks like or what he feels like in a certain moment in the book, and that can just give your paper more substance, right? It can be more interesting to people than just your words, right? So, more interesting, is that a good way to write that? More interesting. Okay. Okay, sweet. Any other reasons? That's probably good for now. Okay, awesome. I forgot to get an eraser real fast, but we can just use this space, and then when you're doing your work, I'll do it. So we're gonna practice making one of these together, okay? A sentence with a quotation in it. So, do any of you guys have like a favorite quote, a famous quote from an author or a famous person? Jacob?
Speak softly and carry a big stick.
Who said that?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Did he really?
Yes.
Why did he say that?
He said that a lot. I don't know.
Okay, speak softly and carry a big stick. Is that right? Teddy Roosevelt.
I think so.
Okay, we'll use that. So what context might you use that sentence in?
Teddy Roosevelt said, speak softly and carry a big stick.
Okay, so let's do that one first, and then let's try another way too, okay? Here, let me just erase it with my hand, actually. Okay, so Jacob, how would you do the punctuation for that? How would you write it? Tell me what to do.
So you capitalize the T in, or do Theodore.
Theodore, it's a little more.
And Roosevelt capitalize the R.
Okay.
And then
Said.
said. And then I think you'd put a comma because it's not a continuation, it's like different.
Awesome.
And then do the quotation marks and then capitalize the S. Speak softly. And then I think there's a comma.
Okay.
And carry a big stick.
And you just do, in the quotation, you do whatever punctuation it's in your book or in the source you get it from, right? And carry a big stick. Okay, and now we don't know exactly what book this is from, but let's say it was in a biography you read about Teddy Roosevelt on page 72, okay? We're just making that up. So how would you do the citation for this? Parentheses 72. Okay, is that right? Jared?
Period.
Period at the end. Good job. Okay, so now what's a way we could write this sentence where it wouldn't need this comma right there? Any ideas? Yeah?
Like you could do one of his favorite sayings was, or would that still use a
You'd
comma?
still use it. How about this? How about when you are walking in the woods, you should speak softly and carry a big stick. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so I'll start this one, and then when I get to the quote, you tell me what to do, okay? Nathan, will you tell me this one? When you are walking in the woods, now what do I do?
Quotation.
Yeah. Okay, I lied. Actually, this one, you'd still need a comma. Let's do this. When you're walking in the woods, you should... There we go, okay? Because it's going into a different phrase or a different clause, so you still need the comma to separate them. But right here, you won't. So Nathan, now you do the quotations. Speak softly. Okay, then pretend the rest of the quote's there. And then what?
72.
72.
Roosevelt 72.
Good catch, Matthew, good catch. Because we didn't put Roosevelt earlier, right? Okay, you guys are awesome. So now what I want you to do is, I put some quotes from Tale of Two Cities on the back of that page. So, first of all, any questions on this? Nathan?
Why isn't the S capitalized in the second one?
That is a good question. So it's because you're not, it just flows from this sentence, right? It's not starting a new sentence, a new clause in the parentheses. This one you need it because it's a sentence that he said, right? This one, it's still a sentence that he said, but you're integrating it into your own sentence. So it would, like, interrupt it to just do a capital right there. Does that make sense? Okay, any other questions right now? Okay, so work with your partner, find one of those quotes you like, and try to do it both of these ways. You can just choose a piece of the quote, because I know some of them are kind of long, okay? So just choose a piece of those, and I'll give you just a few minutes to do that, okay? Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to grab an eraser, but keep working together.
What you want to say?
Okay, you guys can talk with each other while you're doing it. Say what things you like about the quote, what words you think are cool.
So on the other side, it says a lot of them, the quote, it's like has been described as.
This one?
So we should do like, no, wait.
Try to make 2 sentences. Do you guys have a question?
Just do what we did with the other quote.
Yeah, try to do it both ways, when you need the comma and the capital and when you wouldn't.
How do you think we should do the second one without the? What about?
Good job. Okay, we'll give you about 2 more minutes. If you can't finish them all the way, that's okay.
Okay, so we're supposed to do it the other way so it doesn't have a comma. Okay, so
Is anyone stuck? You're just thinking? Yeah, Jacob? What quote are you looking to use?
What
Okay.
do you think?
so
Okay. So, what if you said like something like Sydney Carton, the death of Sydney Carton was a far, far better thing to do than he had ever done. Yeah? Do you know how to
so
do
do
that?
I still need the quotation marks and just do that? quote?
Yep. Matthew, can you help him figure out how he would do
Mhm.
that? Do you know about like bracketing extra words if you switch it? Like if you wanted to switch this out to than he had ever done? Kind of. That's what you do. You just switch out the I for a he and put it in brackets, and that's just replacing it so it works in your sentence. So, did you guys figure out a second one?
Almost.
Okay.
It's a capital.
It's capital.
Yeah, but we're supposed to help the capital.
No, because it's start of the sentence now.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's good. So you can put the citation still at the end of the sentence, or you can put it right there. Kind of just personal choice, whatever way you think will flow. But that's awesome.
You don't need a comma there, right? Or anything. You just do that.
Yep, yep. So in that case, I probably would put it at the end of the sentence, just so it flows a little better. But yeah, that's awesome. I like how you put the quote at the start of the sentence. We hadn't done one like that before, so that was good. Okay, so now I want you guys to choose your favorite one and each send someone up to write it on the whiteboard, okay? Okay, but in reality, we're out of time, so I'm just going to stop there. And thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
How do I stop it?
Did you do all those quotes like
Did
that
it?
on purpose?